I have my notes from the January meeting, and I wanted to go over a few of the things so that we can kind of let everybody know where we're at from that point, okay? And as we go along, you know, anybody want to ask questions, want to stop or whatever, we'll answer everything and try to work things out, okay?
I'd like to know first who's here tonight. I don't know all of you. I know many of you.
Does everybody want to start and just introduce themselves and go right around the room?
Josh, what's your last name? What?
Nelson.
Nelson. And you're from which fire department?
Lawrence. I'm Ron Stanton from Lawrence Fire Department in Town of Jayhawk.
Bob Schultz, Lawrence Fire Department, Deputy Chief.
Task Chief 28.
Dewey Bozo, President, Muse.
Paul Smith, Safety Officer, Vice President, Hughes Fire.
And Public Chief and Treasurer at Cecil #3.
Everybody knows me.
We just want to hear you say it.
What are you talking about?
Got off the parking lot.
Phone over, definitely plan Muse.
Alan's on back, Fire Chief,
Ronnie's on deck, Captain of Muse.
I'm Elizabeth Powell.
Sean Bukovinsky, Chief of Police.
Frank Goldberg, Andy Schrader.
Cindy Fisher.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out again tonight. I appreciate this. Several things that I wanted to go through first. I have the notes from our last meeting that we had, and Bruce had said that he'd been reaching out to the fire departments on a new construction, on the planning, okay? And he said he'll continue to do so. He had a couple of times he told me that he had reached out and that people hadn't showed up, but he's going to continue to do that. I mean, has there been any problems that anybody's had reaching him or anything? So he'll continue to notify him, because one of the things we talked about is in the construction, if the fire department wanted to have some input into it, that's the time to do it. Now, on the Knox boxes, Bruce isn't here tonight, so he gave me an email that kind of summed up some of the things that he talked about. In a Knox box, he said, this is working good as a voluntary program. No one has refused him yet. And he's going to try to work on an initiative to outfit the existing buildings too. So the ones that don't have it, he's going to push them to see if they'll voluntarily do it. And as long as everybody's doing this when the new building voluntarily, it'll work. It'll work for everybody.
Is it
So,
going to be just for the new buildings?
well, that's what he said. He's working on doing it for the existing ones too.
Well, I thought he was the one, if I'm not mistaken, who was so opposed to it, or said it didn't work or something. Am I right? And it was the fire department.
He was definitely kind of against it.
I think his concern was, I mean, he was against it for some places have reached out to him and said that they wouldn't do it. Milan's an example. They had said that there's proprietary information in their building and they didn't want to do that. I think as long as we do it voluntarily, he has no problem.
I think that might be the thing, doing it voluntarily, and they seem to be responding to it. So if we keep doing it that way, I think it'll work for us. With the fire hydrants, Harry and Bruce have been discussing this matter, and as per the fire department operations, they're requiring a hydrant spacing of 1,200 feet or 600 feet between the hydrants then. So he's still working with Harry. Harry had retired, but Harry came back and he's still helping us right now. So Harry's been working with that. Now, we had talked about the 2 mills.
I thought we agreed on 1,000-foot separation.
Was it? He's telling us to be 1,200 in here.
They only carry 1,000 feet.
Yeah,
Somebody's
that's
gonna be short
kind
somewhere.
of short. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Well,
carry
I thought you
1,200.
said 600 or.
And I don't understand that part. I'll have to ask Bruce about it, because I just got this email a little while ago, but he says 600
Let's make sure.
fire
I
hydrants.
thought we agreed that, I mean, in a perfect world, 500 and 1,000.
Okay. You can write that down.
Well, we like to discuss that.
500 between the furthest distance.
That would make 1,000 between the heights.
1,200,
Yeah.
At the max, 1,000.
Yeah,
Max.
Is this what you all remember?
yeah, that's what I remember.
Were these concerns that they?
I mean, it wasn't firm, but that's what we were shooting for.
Yes.
They were concerns
Well,
that
let's-
you brought up?
We'll
So
talk
I'm
with
interested
him.
in hearing what he, since I wasn't at the meeting, what Andy remembers, but I'm also interested in what your recollections are, or what was not addressed, or what's still pending from all of you.
Okay, well, I still have some more to go through here then, so we'll talk to him about that, the 500 to 1,000 max that we're talking about. Now, the third thing that I want to discuss was the 2 2 mills that's dedicated to the fire departments.
witness
We'd asked questions about that. And the 2 mills, that's actually, every December, when we have our budget meeting, we do our tax levy approval. And that's where it's in, the 2 mills. And, I mean, people were saying, well, could somebody down the road, could other supervisors do it? There is nothing that could say that other supervisors couldn't change it. I don't think there's any supervisors now that would think about doing that. I mean, I don't think so. I think you guys provide an essential service for us, and there's no way that myself, I think, are reducing that. But that's done actually with the tax levy that we do at the end of each year with
I
our
thought
budget.
that we should increase it, take half a mill off of the general fund and give the fire departments half of it.
And we can discuss that at the budget meetings
I
this year.
did. I did last year.
I think the thing that we want to know is if we could get guarantees on that, you know, like we did with the library. See, our thing is, if we get
We
it
don't
back.
guarantee it for the library, though, just to be clear, not to interrupt you, but
Okay.
we can only do it, we can't strap future boards, that's just how it works. So we can only guarantee it 1 year at a time.
Aren't you doing that with the union's collective bargaining agreements?
Yeah, but the thing is, you can any board could change it in the future, no matter what we
We
decided to
could
do.
decide
Any
past
board could
something, and
change
they
it.
could come in and change it and take it away.
Any board can change it if they wanted to.
So you can change their contract mid,
No, but when their contract
We
comes
could
up, they
reopen
could.
their contract, I mean, I don't know that we would, but.
Our point is, if, you know, we have trucks that are getting older, we have buildings that are getting older.
Mhm.
We go to buy a truck and we're gonna say, hey, we're depending on some of that millage to make that payment. All of a sudden, it gets cut. Now, where are we in making that payment back to the bank? That's the thing that we're looking at is, you know, if you can.
And I understand your concern, but my whole point to it is the fact that I don't think this board would ever do that, and I hope the board in the future would never do that. But there's nothing that we could do right now. We could make a motion for the next 20 years that it doesn't decrease. But the next board that comes in can make a motion to change that.
Well, while you're on
And
that
I
vein,
don't think it's right, but that's.
no, I understand what you're saying, but on the other vein, and talking that way, there's no reason you can't do it, because if they feel like you're gonna change, they're gonna change anyhow, but at least we have a commitment from the people here now.
I wouldn't be opposed.
Couldn't have waited for a good while,
I mean, I know you have more stuff to go if you want to stick to the funding, but we don't, the bottom line is we had a little discussion. We need to know what the minimum is. I mean, we're gonna ask for more, obviously, that's one of the things we're feeling for. But we need to know the minimum for a fact. I mean, we got 5 or 10 year plans, and we're talking together as a group, as district, and trying to consolidate sources, save money, but we don't even have a baseline to work on, guaranteed. And that's where we're coming from. I mean, it's not a demand, I mean, we're just,
But the
We
last
talked
time.
at this, yeah, we talked about this in the last meeting. I can tell you personally, I view every one of you as an essential service, and I would not vote to cut your funding. I'm on the board for the next 5 years, we can sit up there and we can promise it to you, but like Andy said, in 2 years from now, somebody else can be controlling the board, and that can
Right.
change
But it
it.
looks good if we went into the bank and say, we're gonna get this money for the next 5
and I
years.
say make them do the
And the
work.
bank will say, okay.
But you, I mean, in reality, the bank realizes that will change too.
Sure.
So-
But we actually do that whenever you purchase a
Well,
fire
2
truck or
years.
something, we sign on to it too, as a township.
And we would,
That's happened before.
In 2010, when we bought our truck, we were in that same quandary. And we had several members within our fire department who were very concerned that 2, 3, 4 years after we received that fire truck, the Board of Supervisors were going to change their mind and rescind that single tax. And we asked at that time for some guarantee, we weren't given anything other than verbal, which I understand. But the bank was concerned about that. And we went through a leasing company with, from the manufacturer of the fire trucks to finance it. And that was one of the questions they asked. you know.
Didn't we sign on to that?
Yes, you did.
We
You
did
guys
sign
held a
on
public
to your.
hearing for us so
Yeah.
that we could move forward with that.
And whether township was the guarantor.
No, the township is not the guarantor, but you guys held a public meeting just for people to come in and express concerns about the fire company entering into that lease.
I will tell you from a financial perspective, the bank would probably take that a lot more seriously than a motion that we would make at some meeting. just from the standpoint of what Andy said, a motion we make in a meeting could be rescinded in a heartbeat. If we sit down and have a public hearing, or we send the bank a letter that says, yes, our intent is to continue that funding, they're a lot more likely to take that seriously. So honestly, if that's what you're looking for, I think I can't speak for the board, but I know personally, I'm more than happy to do that again.
Maybe I'm stupid, but I don't understand what the problem is, because
There is.
we're not the, something in writing means a lot more than, hey, for the last 5 years, they gave us 2 mills. When you go to the bank and say that, and they said they plan on doing it. Right now, we'd say it's in 2 mills right now, but they can cut it next year, we know that. But, you know, who goes on verbal in writing?
Nobody.
Nobody, that's what I was saying. but like-
Maybe I'm being over simplistic here, but, you know, that's where I'm coming from.
But I know the last,
And we're doing nothing but grow here. I mean, you're gonna have to fund fire departments in this district one way or the other. And trust me, we're cheap in the big picture compared to a big department. And, you know, and we're not here to scream, yell, or get mad. We're just saying, hey, we're trying to do the best we can with some kind of. Yeah.
We sat down as a group, and we're consolidating efforts and coming up with a 10-year, a 5-year, 10-year
are you
plan.
talking all 3 fire
As all 3 fire
Okay.
departments.
When you said a group, that's what I want to
We
make
are
sure.
writing SOGs together.
Mhm.
We are starting to train together, we're going to start working together more. We had once-a-month meetings. Eventually, I think down the road, we'll become one department with 3 separate stations. That's probably going to be the goal.
That would be good. I think that'd be a great idea.
And
Well, it's going to be a process.
and obviously, we don't have all the answers yet in firm, but obviously, we're not gonna buy the same thing they buy if they're close enough to report us. That's the kind of way we're trying to say.
It's not too
Big dollar items.
The area is too diverse just to have
Yes.
a cookie cutter plan. It's
Exactly.
going to have to be bent and molded to each individual, however we end up making a district.
Exactly.
I also think that the area is so big too, that you need to have the 3 different
Yes,
departments.
and if you look at the
Because you can't get from one
geographical
side to another quick enough.
We cannot, use can't get to us, we can,
Exactly.
that's why
That's
we
my
need
point.
those separate, it's not like the main highway straight through. I'm sure I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Getting police inspection and both ends of the town.
And South Point's their construction affects them more than it does us, because we're third alarm, or it's a little worse than us, it's 10 and 29, okay? But 79 in the interstate exchange, the new toll road is going to affect us, because they expect us to respond to the new toll road connector from Lawrence, so. I mean, so we have a different future than they do in part of the township.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're separate, but we're trying to get together, but we all have different missions.